Hey, how's it going? It's Joe, Eager Expat, and this is a Bangkok basics on how to get around this busy town. You don't want to rely on just jumping in cabs and going everywhere. The cabs are cheap. The problem is the traffic. So you really got to learn how to use the BTS overhead train, the MRT, the subway. If you just rely on cabs, especially during rush hour, you're going to be sitting in a cab a half hour to go, 1 mile. So plus, there's other problems with cabs I'll get into later. But the apps you want to put on your phone, if you're familiar in the United States anyhow with Uber and Lyft, are Bolt and Grab. Grab's also good for food delivery. They'll go to any of the restaurants and just bring it straight to your hotel or condo. It's great. If you can get any kind of Thai credit card or ATM card, you need to open a Thai bank account. You can tie that to your Grab account and they'll just deduct it out of the card. It looks like it'll take a US card. It'll even ask, what country is this from, and then it fails. From what little bit of research I did online, it says no. In Thailand anyhow, you can only use a Thai-based credit card. So we'll get out, take a look. You got your moto taxis. If you're a little bit more adventurous, they'll zip you through traffic. These guys tend to hang out on one street, and that's their street. They're, right by the train where everybody's coming off, and there's a string of condos going back 8 blocks. Well, that's their domain, just to zip you up and down that street. They'll take you anywhere. You can order a moto taxi on Bolt or Grab, and it'll take you from one end of town to the other. I wouldn't recommend that. I think I went like 3 miles on a motor taxi once, and I wouldn't do it again. Just maybe if that's your only choice at 3 in the morning, there's no cabs, maybe. But in crazy traffic, that's a heck of a ride. So here's where the motorbikes are hanging out here in front of the Big C. And I'm just gonna take a small goofy ride. I walk this every day. It's just 3, maybe 4 blocks to the BTS skytrain. But just before it gets dark, I'll take a short ride, show you what we're working with. All right, so it's raining. Not the greatest place to be sitting on the back of a motorbike. But you can see it's still a pretty popular choice. My number one way of getting around Bangkok is the BTS. This is the En Nut BTS station. But again, it's going to depend on where you live, if you're near the subway, the MRT, or if you're near a BTS stop, as to which one you're going to use the most. There's nothing tricky about riding the BTS train. We're here in En Nut. Let's say you want to go to Phrom Phong. So you want to look at the train called Tuk-tuks, and that's the direction you're heading. Once you're over here for a little while, you can also just look at the way traffic is flowing and get on the train, go in the direction you need to go. It's not rocket science. When you go to the machine, you'll put in En Nut, and it'll tell you 16 baht to this station, 18 baht to this station, 21 baht to that station, etc. That's my rabbit car. A board up here showing, which direction you're going. If you got on the wrong train, no big deal. Get off at the next stop, cross over. You won't be charged again as long as you don't leave the train station, and get on the train going in the correct direction. So it's helpful to know which exit. There is 6 exits off of here. This is the Asok station. you definitely want to get on the correct side of, in this case, Sukhumvit Street. Again, I have my rabbit card, so I just touched it at the train stop I entered. I'm going to touch it like this person at the train stop. Choose depart, out she goes. Now, if you had a ticket, down right above that arrow, you just slide the ticket in and it'd keep it. It also shows I have 959 baht left on the card. The Asok BTS station is kind of crazy, especially here during rush hour, because it's also a connection to go down below to the MRT, to the subway. Across the way is the famous Soy Cowboy red light alley, but these trains, they just take you above the mess. Of course, like in any big city, no one train is going to take you everywhere you need to go. But this green line, the Sukhumvit light green line, that's probably the most rookie BTS train. If you're new to Bangkok, try to live somewhere close to that light green line, just running up and down Sukhumvit. You can come up here again to the Terminal 21 shopping center. Excellent movie theater up on the top floor. If you continue up this line another 4 or 5 stations, you'll be at Siam Central. And pretty much every train, I have 5, 6 colors, they all end up there at some point, and you can get to any part of the city. All right, there they go. Now the fact that these cars are in the way, that's not going to be an issue. The city buses, you can give them a try. They're more geared for the locals. If you happen to know the 136 goes directly up and down the street you need to go, great. Otherwise, I'd probably take a pass on the city buses. Plus, they're not air conditioned. You always have the option of trying to flag a taxi down. Same like in any city, they'll have a light on or off, you know, if they're available. Here's the problem with that, and I rarely do that, just for the reason you might flag down 4 cabs before you're going to find one that will take you where you need to go. I know that sounds unusual, but it's really not. These cabs kind of operate in their sector, and I'm here at Asok. I live in On Nut. For me to find a cab right now during rush hour that's going to agree to take me to On Nut would be near impossible. They know the traffic, they don't want to deal with it, they're not going to make enough money, and they're going to waste an hour, if not longer, because they probably will then want to get from On Nut back over here to the Asok area, or wherever they generally hang out. So good luck with flagging down a cab. The other problem is if you even find a cab that will take you to where you want to go, more than 50% of the time, he's not going to turn the meter on. He'll say something like, I'll do it for 300 baht, where you know it's supposed to be 160 baht ride or thereabout. They'll just quote you some price. They'll say the meter's broken, whatever. So again, depending how rainy and wet it is, you might just suck it up and let's go. But your better option would be order a car through Bolt or Grab and just wait the 15 minutes for that car to come, and everybody's on the same page as to what the price is going to be and where we're going. 2, 3 in the morning, it might be impossible to get a Bolt. They'll just keep canceling on you. I'm not saying they're deceitful, but sometimes they'll sit there and accept your ride, and then they'll just sit out in front of a nightclub or whatever and try to get a better deal, a better offer. Maybe somebody will stumble out and say, yeah, here's 300 baht, take me from A to Z. And then they'll cancel on you. There's no taxi board you're gonna call and complain, this guy refused to turn the meter on, whatever. It's just not gonna happen. This is the Asok station, so it'd be the Sukhumvit line on the MRT. They also have a similar card for frequent travelers. Myself, I'm only on the subway once a week, maybe twice a week, where I'm on the BTS 2, 3, 4 times a day. So I definitely have a card. I definitely top it up when you don't want to do it at rush hour, but at 9 at night and there's nobody in line at the ticket office, yeah, go up there, give them another 1,000, and that'll last you another, month of daily rides. With the MRT, I just do the one-way tickets myself. I also forgot to mention that the Rabbit card for the BTS SkyTrain system and the MRT card are separate systems. So no, you can't use your Rabbit card to ride the subway or vice versa. Plus, there's additional trains. Here's an example. To get to immigration, if I have time, the best option is just to order a Bolt and pay 280 baht or whatnot and sit in traffic and take 40 minutes to get there. That's the easiest option at 8 o'clock in the morning. If I have plenty of time and I woke up early, I'll get on the train and en route, I'll come down here to Asok, I'll switch to the subway, Sukhumvit, I'll take the subway to the Bangsu, I believe it is, train station. Then I get on another train, pay a separate line, it's called the Purple Line, and I ride 4 stops on the Purple Line, and it drops me off right in front of one immigration office. If I need to go to the other immigration office, I'll jump on a motor taxi and pay him 40 baht to zip me right to immigration. Again, all that adds up to whatever, 100 and something baht. That few times a year you have to go to immigration, suck it up, and yeah, you're gonna sit in traffic, no big deal. But to just head out to meet friends at happy hour on a Wednesday like today is, sitting in a cab for 45 minutes, that's just dumb. Put Google Translate on your phone, that's gonna be your friend. Most of these motor taxi guys, they're not gonna understand much English. Not that I expect everybody to understand English in Thailand. It's helpful for me, but yeah, you're a visitor in Thailand, so put Google Translate on there and just ask them. You know, I'm going from your taxi stand here, 4 blocks that way, how much in Thai baht? And they'll tell you, they're not gonna rip you off. It's pretty much a set price. It's whatever, 40 baht from here to there. They're not gonna say, oh, 200 baht. It's rare that that's gonna happen. Waiting for a tuk-tuk to go by. I haven't seen one. Usually they're piled up in front of Soy Cowboy and kind of the other touristy spots. Tuk-tuks are kind of a interesting thing. They're fun. They're fun to ride in, but when you're a foreigner, a farang, they're gonna try to charge you top dollar. If they think you're out looking for a joyride, they're gonna take you to their buddy's jewelry shop or their brother-in-law's tailor shop and try to get you a nice $100 suit. You know, they're gonna make a commission on all these deals. So just be advised, they're fun, but they're not a real, I don't know, viable way to get around town unless you speak some Thai, you are very clear you're going from point A to point B. Well then, yeah, if he's got nothing going on, he might do it for 100 baht. Getting a little wet down there. One other thing to be aware of with these motor taxis is the driver has a helmet, you don't. So where you know you're gonna ride a motor taxi every day to go to the train to go to work, just keep that in mind. Go buy yourself a helmet if that's important to you, and it kind of should be, because there are some serious motorbike accidents that happen over here with this crazy traffic and these motorbikes just taking off 20 seconds early. Now, I've lived in California most of my life, and I've always had at least one car, if not multiple cars. So coming over to a place like Bangkok, yeah, your first instinct might be, I need to get some wheels, at least maybe get a motorbike. Probably a bad idea, at least until you've lived over here a while. I wouldn't rush right over and buy a car, certainly living in Bangkok. Parking's an issue, not only where you live, where you're going, not to mention the traffic. Here's a brave person on her 10-speed. But just keep that in mind as far as driving, at least here in Bangkok. If you go out to Pattaya or one of the smaller beach cities, yeah, a motorbike's almost essential. If you hand even a taxi driver a 1,000 baht note, which is $25, $26 for a 150 baht trip, he's gonna be aggravated. He may or may not have change. He'll probably have to pull over to a 7-Eleven to get change. So just keep that in mind with certainly the motorbikes and their 40 baht and all. They don't want a 500 baht note. So keep those 20s and 50s set aside for those kind of rides, or those 10 baht coins. Just try to make their life easy.